Hey guys, I'm Andre, a certified translator and a real estate concierge, and today we're talking about the registration for short-term travels. Short-term travel is for tourism up to 30 days, for business or private purposes up to 90 days, and within this term, while you're staying here, you must observe the rules of the registration. They're pretty simple. Whether or not you're here for a short-term stay or you are upgrading for temporary residency later, it's important for you to know that within the first 10 days, 10 calendar days, upon your arrival and your passport control check-in is your first day, you must register with the immigration, let's say, office. That's the department of the police ministry, basically. If you're staying at the hotel, you have to do nothing. You are just checking in. Hotels, sanatoriums or spa resorts or farm stays register you automatically. You kind of don't have to bother. But if you are checking into a private apartment, before you even travel, you should check with the owners if it's okay, if they are going to help you with the registration, or if it's okay that you will get registered in their place. Sometimes they say no. In that case they do tax evasion, obviously, and sometimes they say yes, and sometimes even just register you online without any extra fees charged. I heard in the past, when I was a tour guide, the clients were charged $50 to process this thing online, which is basically for free. But such are some apartment dealers. They are pretty tricky guys, and maybe worse are only taxi drivers. But Yandex.Go helps that. So to finish the line about the 10 calendar days, the first 10 calendar days of your stay, if you're staying for just 10 days total and you're leaving on day 10, you don't have to bother whether or not it's hotel stay or apartment stay. But if you are here for a longer term, you have to get registered, and it can be done for free online. Here is the address of the government portal where this kind of electronic thing kind of happens. It's not exactly user-friendly, but it's not too bad. The previous portal was much worse. Registration occurs fairly easily, and then you can log in using your social networks or your password if you manage to scribble that down somewhere, and basically conduct the registration of the foreign citizen on a temporary stay, something like that. I only checked the Russian version, of course. I'll put the screenshot of the English one for your convenience. You can do this online, but only first time. For a long time, I believed that hotel stay changed by apartment stay. This allows you to do the registration online. But apparently, if you move from a hotel to an apartment, for which you have 3 working days now, that excludes Sunday and Monday. I repeat, Sunday and Monday are non-working days for immigration office. To get registered, and you can do this online. If you do this offline, you have to pay 32 rubles now, 1 base unit, and there's a bit of paperwork, and you may need some side help for that. Sometimes immigration officers can navigate your pen on the form, sometimes they don't give a damn, and you battle with it for a couple of hours for sure, especially the payment part. At all times, you have to have your insurance that covers Belarus. For online, your foreign policy may work. They don't really care if it's in English or in Japanese, whatever. But if it's offline, the officer may get very conservative on this one and demand a Russian or Belarusian-speaking policy. Very few cases I saw people were allowed to use English-speaking policy, which clearly had Belarus mentioned or worldwide, or had the serial number or something like that. That just has to be injected into the database. So your passport, your visa, if any, and your insurance policy is what you have to do, to do this online. Offline, it also requires 32 rubles. Mind that none of the police stations accepts any cash, any chocolates, any of this bullshit. That's not acceptable. You have to go to a bank or do it online, and online payment may require local help because you're unlikely to have a local bank account. If you're staying for a month and you're registering yourself in a flat for a week, you don't know if you're going to extend here, you don't know if you're going to extend at all, you can get registered for the whole month. The next registration will override the previous registration and, cancel the rest of it, and you'll be registered at the new address. Suppose you have stayed a week at the hotel, you move to a flat, you register again online, first and last time you can do this online, and then you move to a different city. By law, the 3 working day rule applies. You have 3 working days to show up at the local migration office, unless you're staying at the hotel again, and do the registration offline. This requires the things and papers that I just mentioned. And this is just it. If you're staying for 2 days, or if it includes weekend, you're free to move somewhere else. So any side trips from Minsk to Grodno or Brest or something like this have to be designed according to the calendar of the working days or non-working days for a migration office. And sure enough, the sweetest part is fines. Let's specifically talk about the registration. So option one, you can go to the district office, mind their working hours, and that's where Yandex Maps, by the way, may be very helpful. And you may need some help because fine of say 64 rubles or 32 rubles, which is very unlikely, maybe 96 rubles, 3 base units is very likely, but and it's very easy. That's the simplest part. The paperwork is fun. As an official translator, I sometimes go to such events, let's say, or help people that get stuck at the migration office when we're there with my residency guys, and I help to resolve this. So a fine means not just the loss of 100 rubles, give or take, but also the loss of 2-3, give or take, hours, because rarely the person processing you is speaking English, and for this reason the officer may be really kind of upset with you. So don't be surprised by code reception. Well, that's about it. After this you walk out, and after this, if you're staying in the country, you want to get registered, because even if they say no, you don't have to register, you can leave now. If you're staying for a few more days, you want to get registered again, and for real, because one of my clients listened to the officer's advice and got fined at the airport next day, 10 base units. He's American, of course. Now he's pissing, he can't come back, or he'll be arrested, shot, whatever shit. That's about it about registration, guys. Thank you for watching. Now, most of the new, let's say, non-headline videos different from weekly updates will be coming up on Patreon first, because I want to respect the guys who are supporting me. The previous video got support from just 2 guys on top of my Patreon guys, and that's not very helpful, but Mike and Ryan, thank you very much. And thank you for watching. All of you who press a like and feedback under the video is very welcome and very helpful. Keeps going. See you later. Cheers.